115 countries and 22 international organizations have presented their pavilions at Expo in the capital of Kazakhstan to showcase the essence of future energy. Important events, innovative technologies and the greenest projects in the program Astana Expo 2017. An interactive lecture on the topic of cyber poetry and cyber poets was given at Astana Expo 2017. A famous Kazakhstani actor, Sanjar Madiyev, and a popular TV host, Eurasian, told the audience about the mechanic poetry, and then fought a poetic duel citing legendary aitas, a Kazakh traditional genre of free verse. We had some form of battle on Birjan Sara, a poetry of 1871. We read the poem with Zari Sinaman. This excerpt is quite big. It was very interesting in a style of slam poetry. A flow when you, without any decorations, express your vision, tell your own story. Birjan won Sara in a word war and took a prize, a fast-footed pacer. Yesterday the debate was won by Sanjar character. However, the most important part of the interactive evening was the creative wave of aitas. This is an ancient type of art, when two bright and talented personalities entered in such a poetic dialogue. It is complex, and it is necessary to be alert, to catch a feeling, an emotion, and convey it in such a sharp manner. This is all amazing. Kazakh poetry has a rich history. We have a rich culture, and today we witnessed it. The guests of poetic lecture also took part in the evening. Some of them recited poems written by Abay Konanbayev, Shakarim Kudaiberdiyev, Mukagali Makatayev, Sergei Yesenin, Bella Ahmadulina, and others. Everyone have come to a conclusion that in order to have a quality poetry, we need a living person, not a robot. At the end of the event, the evening has reached the peak of its creativity. Sanjar Madiyev began free versing. We gave him a topic, inspiration, and heard the following improvisation. It doesn't come to everyone. Having come once, it says. Having come once, it stays. It brings success to many, but sometimes leaves taking along the light, the night, and goes somewhere away. It came, it stayed. You became great. It stayed with you. The results of an interactive lecture were rather disappointing for cyber poets and its creators. However, it turned out as promising for contemporary authors. As Zara noted, the human energy, one of the subtopics of Expo 2017, is renewed with the help of poetry.
Поэзия вообще по своей сути это аккумулятор чувств, и поэтому если мы где-то.
Poetry is in itself an accumulator of feelings. Thus, if we grieve or feel empty, poetry is a very capacious and dense type of art can fill that void. Add the needed puzzle pieces so that we can have a whole picture of a human full of something amazing.
Человека гармоничного, наполненного прекрасным, она все-таки состоялась.
The event was hosted at the Zone of Creative Energy. This pavilion is a part of museum complex of Contemporary Art Center. This museum consists of garage from Moscow and French Museum Association, a part of which is Grand Palais. There, the artificial intelligence is presented as an alternative to human in art. The zone of creative energy is an essential part of this pavilion, but it is different. If at artists and robots exhibit, we pose a question whether it is possible for a robot to replace a human in art. Here at Creative Energy Zone, we answer that question by saying that no, art is a human. At Creative Energy Zone, everything is directed at comfortable and relaxing atmosphere, in which everyone will have a desire to create something new, taking part in an interactive program. The concept of the pavilion was focused on showing the lightness and airiness of the space. Therefore, there are many pillows, balloons here. The walls, as you see, are not whole. In other words, one can see and feel the atmosphere beyond the walls. The interactive component of the pavilion will be present during the whole exposition period. UK Pavilion occupies an area of 1,000 square meters. The ambitious name, We Are Energy, is revealed via main installation of the exposition, an innovative yurt. Its author, a famous British architect, Asif Khan. According to Asif, when working with an exhibit, he got inspired by Kazakh traditional house, which visually reminds ancient Celt huts. The whole composition is a plastic structure, inside which there are thousands of invisible sensors. When people touch the carcass, the yurt lights up. The framework of the installation is a synchronized 17-meter-long panoramic screen. During yurt's illumination, the LED screen changes its time of the day and landscapes. General Commissioner Charles Hendry told us what message did the British want to convey at their pavilion.
We're trying to show is British ingenuity and British technology, and to show that, look, over the centuries that Britain has been at the forefront of some of the great breakthroughs in technology, going right back to the Industrial Revolution 250 years ago, the invention of the steam engine, and more recently the jet engine, more recently the World Wide Web, the internet, then subsequently DNA and our understandings of our bodies. All of those have been done in the United Kingdom. And then looking at the next great breakthrough, which we're looking at as being graphene, which was discovered in the United Kingdom a few years ago. So what we're trying to show to people visiting is that we are a great country for delivering solutions to big challenges, and therefore we're a good partner.
Graphene, by the way, is indeed a unique discovery, which promises to change many economic fields and industrial processes. It is such a durable and light conductor of electricity that it can become a good replacement of silicon in microelectronic appliances, construction materials, and medicine. Lamps with the innovative material have been set up at the special stand. The visitors can freely hold the lighted lamps and not burn themselves.
The focus for us is on graphene, and that what we want to show as well is that it doesn't matter what the technology is, the UK is a good place to be developing solutions to problems. And so that we highlight in some of our screens that we are the world's biggest offshore wind facility, what's being done in the United Kingdom in the oil and gas sector, what's being done for spaceports, for new approaches to growing food on buildings rather than in farms, and really trying to show it's a very broad approach and not focusing in on just a few technologies.
UK was one of the first countries to support the initiative of Kazakhstan to host Expo 2017. There are many bilateral agreements between the two countries, which facilitate mutually beneficial cooperation. General Commissioner has shared his plans.
And then during Expo, we want this to be a centre for discussion and for dialogue. We'll be bringing British companies here. We will have a member of the royal family, His Royal Highness the Duke of Gloucester will be here for British National Day in a bit over a week's time. Then we'll have the Lord Mayor of London coming out here in July with a business delegation. And we hope to have ministers from the government coming as well.
The UK exposition is of great interest to the public. 14th Eurasian Media Forum was held in Astana at International Exposition. The general theme of today's discussions was the scenario for searching compromises. The opening ceremony was attended by the State Secretary of Kazakhstan, Gulshara Abdikalikova, Chairman of Organizing Committee of the Forum, Dariga Nazarbayeva, and Chairman of Board at NC Astana Expo 2017, Ahmedjan Isimov.
Убеждена, что в ходе дискуссии
I believe that in course of a discussion, we will help each other find the right answers or at least get close to them. Dear friends, I wish us all to have heated and productive discussions on these days and declare the 14th Eurasian Media Forum open. Ahmedjan Isimov at Media Forum told about the global image project of Kazakhstan, Expo 2017, and how the organizing committee conducted promotion campaign at international media space. The potential coverage of international audience amounted to 1.5 billion people. By the end of the year, we expect to have 2.5 billion people. For the first time, as a tool of promotion, we use formats such as roadshows and expo caravans. These types of marketing arrangements, with a wide geographical scope and mass coverage, were not used by Kazakhstan at the international arena before. Notable figures in international media, politicians, economists, social activists, public personas and representatives of business structures have expressed their own opinions on main issues on agenda of Eurasian media platform, geopolitical restructuring, security strategies in the age of digital revolution, objectives for business on the path to global leadership, blockchains, and digital strategies of the modernity. Future energy is a foundation of sustainable development, Asian Tigers phenomenon, and others. The matter of New World Order was discussed at the first session. To build bridges or walls is a relevant question with the arrival of new leaders on the world arena. Not less interesting is a matter of influence and interaction of leading countries in resolving political and economic crisis in both developed and developing countries.
I think most of these trends come from a more general trend that is against globalization. So globalization is happening today, and it's done by science, by technology, by information, communication. The reality is that there is not one country that is controlling globalization. Some time ago, some people were making a kind of equation, globalization as a form of Americanization of the world. This is simply not true, as we have seen, by the way, in the vote for the President of the United States. The President of the United States was elected somehow with a discourse against globalization.
At the session devoted for future energy was discussed the concept of green economy as a foundation for sustainable development.
In my country, I think you're seeing the price of solar going down enormously, technology improving, wind energy being stronger, a lot of transmission lines. Let me just say, I want to commend the government and the country of Kazakhstan for combining an energy strategy. You're a major oil and gas producer, that is well known. But I have been very impressed with their commitment to green energy. And Expo, I think, is going to show that 2017, that Kazakhstan is a major player in renewable energy.
At the session devoted for secrets of Asian economic miracle, the governor of Astana International Financial Center, Kairat Kelimbetov, noted that Singapore is the most suitable model for Kazakhstan on 4 parameters in terms of economic development.
I think the most important is the rule of law. I think that rule of law is actually exactly the point which is attract the many investors and and also allow to the local community really kind of to believe to the future of the country. So this is number one. Number two is a leadership role. I believe that the role of the political leaders in South Korea and in Singapore is really important stuff, especially I think that Lee Kuan Yew story. Number three is a kind of a long-term vision and strategy. All this country, I think that kind of created, first of all, the long-term vision in terms of like a 20 years horizon vision and strategy, what to do, what kind of the industrial policy should be, what kind of the policy to bring investment, what kind of reforms should be done in this country.
Eurasian Media Forum 2017 was held for 3 days and gathered around 920 participants and 90 media agencies from across the world. The media forum was streamed live in 38 countries.